Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of dismantling work, and we can see here we've got the Haynes manual for this thing, and I always find with these Haynes manuals that they're written from the point of view that you don't need a Haynes manual and you actually know what you're doing, so they're not necessarily the most helpful. But what I have done is I've got this bit of hose off there. That's just from the air box with the air filter down to the throttle body, and we've taken the cover off. In a previous video I did have this off and mention about that, but what I can deduce is down here this is the flame trap, as best as I can identify it from this picture here. It's not the most helpful, but I don't know whether it'll show up on this video, but actually what I will do is, you can see there, for want of a better expression, there's like looks like tar with grit in. I think the grit is lumps of burnt carbon from basically where the oil is partially combusted, probably in a low oxygen environment, so it's just sort of carbonized it. But basically what's happening is it's not really doing its job, I think, and it probably does need replacing, so I'm not going to take it off because I don't have a spare. I'm going to go and try and track one down. Actually, there's a couple of jobs that need doing on this car to be able to put it back through its MOT and stand a chance of passing, and one of them is the handbrake. I need to adjust that. I sort of know what I'm doing, but I've never been all that good at it. But down here, this belt here, the auxiliary drive belt, is pretty shot. So actually, I could do with replacing that as well. But that is, I mean, the lack of space down there is actually quite horrible. So what I might do is I'll get the garage to do that. But I'm going to need to do the handbrake shoes and adjustment, and I'm going to have a go at that as well, so that's going to be my little project. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully, actually, it may turn out that the valve stem oil seals on this actually aren't in any bad state at all, and it may be that all it is I need to replace the flame trap. And that'll actually be quite good if that actually does turn out to be the case, because redoing valve stem oil seals is a nightmare of a job. You need a special press and all sorts. You need to partially dismantle the engine, have the head off. Oh, that is a nightmare that you really don't want to go there unless you absolutely have to. So what I'm going to do is, well, the battery's disconnected, and anyway, nobody's going to be able to get this thing started up. But just to protect this from moisture, I'm going to see about, just put my blooming finger through it. I'm going to see if I can actually get that covered up. I'll need two hands for that. But, oh, that is horrible stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get that done. Right, well, I did keep messing about, and this fitting on the end there, the flame trap, is actually, the best way I can describe it is how the Haynes manual describes it. It's a bayonet fitting. You twist it to the left, about 15 mil, and then it just slides out. But look at that. That is a miracle that it works at all. The white is sort of like a mayonnaise. That's moisture that's probably built up in there because there's not really good throughput. Mixed in with oil, that is almost completely blocked. So I've got to work out, it says in the Haynes manual that there's a canister in there, so I will try and track one down, and I suspect that whatever new one I get will tell me a lot about how the old one comes out. So for the time being, I am going to try and get that back in there. Oh dear. Doesn't want to go. So let's just try and rotate. No, that does not want to go. That is quite... Oh, I see, yeah. It is so difficult to get that right. There, got it. That is really a tight fit. I'm going to have to investigate that. That is just disgusting. I think the best thing to do is to buy a new one, and from that deduce how the old one is supposed to come out. Hey, well, it's another day, and going to have another go at this Volvo. After I finished recording last night, I did carry on and dug pretty much all that crap out of the flame trap housing. There's no actual flame trap in there, and what I discovered is that actually the flame traps are a waste of time. So Volvo actually sanctioned just removing it, and a lot of people did. The car's obviously old enough that somebody's taken that out and not replaced it, and if anything it's probably better for it. But I've got my head round the positive crankcase ventilation system, but the amount of work to actually clean it out and put a new oil trap in, which is probably what is clogged on this, is immense. We're talking about it would probably take me an entire week with major components off the engine, and it's well, I'm finding it online on American sites for around about $140, so whatever that is in UK money. It's probably £140 because we get ripped off over here. It's quite expensive. I could take it all off and try and just clean it, but what I gather is that a lot of the components go brittle with age, so it's not actually really likely that that would be successful. And at any rate, I would need a new gasket for the inlet manifold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the throttle body, finish cleaning out this flame trap, and going to see just how much of a difference, if anything, that makes. Anyway, let's crack on then, shall we? Well, there's a lot of racket going on because I decided the moment I start filming to clean the streets, so I'm not sure how much of that's going to get picked up, but I'm going to get some gloves on because this stuff is pretty nasty, and well, you can see down here, let's get rid of that, and I put the flame trap on last night, covered everything up just to make sure I don't get condensation or anything like that getting in. But the Jubilee clip down there is pretty badly corroded, and I couldn't get it with a screwdriver. But what I did find is that when we bought a house and got a mortgage from Halifax, they gave us this little toolkit, and it has so many different things in. They gave us a few other things. They actually gave us a bottle of wine and some chocolates. Very nice of them. But it happens to include a 7mm socket, which is exactly what I need, which I don't have on my main socket set. So I have to assemble this. I feel like MacGyver putting all this together. Try not to drop stuff down the back of the radiator. Let's get rid of that over there. But let's have a look then. First of all, let's get the flame trap off. Twist and pull. Not wanting to play ball today. Oh, that's nice of it, isn't it? So, let's have another rummage. Right, we might run out of power before I get done. Ow. Ooh, there's like a sharp bit of metal down there. It's right where you need to apply pressure to rotate this thing. It's really annoying. It came off with no issue at all last night. Right, what I'm going to do is to avoid getting too much oil and rubbish on my tools. And yeah, that's loose now. So, let's see, can we wriggle you out? No, we can't. The Jubilee clip is rotating. Rotating the wrong way, of course. There we go. It's the problem with having long hair. It always gets away. Oh, there we go. What we find with these Jubilee clips is you can open them with a screwdriver when they're new, or if they're okay. But a 7mm socket seems to be what you need when they go all corroded and horrible. Really doesn't want to move. It'll spin, but it won't come off. And as usual, the Haynes handbook makes out like, oh yes, just slide it off. It's like, yeah, right, okay. I'm thinking that there's an element of when the engine's absolutely stone cold, everything kind of just nips together or something, I don't know. Well, we finally got it off, and what I conclude from this is that when the engine's cold, like it is this morning, everything's a lot stiffer, and it just wouldn't rotate, and there's not a lot of room to get down there. So I resorted to using a pair of mole grips, just to be able to actually grip it and twist it, and then it came off. And then I've got the inlet to the, this is actually the air inlet, but you look at that, and that's quite clear that there's been a lot of muck build-up, and that's actually going straight into the air intake into the manifold, and it's just absolutely filthy. So I think my task for today is to find a way to actually clean all of these deposits off. I've scraped a few of the chunkier bits of sort of carbon and other such rubbish, but see down here you probably get much. Oops! Oh, that's probably not what it's supposed to do. Actually, I'm gonna have to look out for that. I think I may have just created a massive vacuum leak. I felt something snap, and I'm not entirely sure. Is that? It's difficult to see. The light is just absolutely atrocious. Because it's such a bright day, once you get down to the point where you're trying to see down there, your eyes go, no, you want to adjust for all the bright light. You don't want to see down here in this little crevice. So, I think it's just gone and snapped down here. Yeah, I can see that rotating. It said, do not under any circumstances take these off. Well, we just did. If I have a vacuum leak, I have a vacuum leak. I'm not really entirely sure what that's going to do things. Anyway, I'm running out of battery power, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a good clean up of things, reassemble it, and see if I've broken my car.